Let's look at how you create your contract templates. So navigate to your venue. Templates. And the template type is terms and conditions. Okay. Now you can have multiple contracts here. You can have it for different event types. So you can have one contract for corporate events, one for wakes, one for weddings, different packages. So maybe you have one for your wedding silver, wedding gold, wedding platinum. And then you can have addendums. So if somebody's having fireworks, you have an additional contract for them to sign, or there's a modification. So maybe you have a change of date agreement, something like that. So you can have multiple agreements assigned to an event and accepted. Now, the acceptance process in Sunnis is associated with their email login, and then it's a 2-click acceptance. So it is legally binding under current UK law. Do check the acceptance of digital contracts in your area, though. And I do recommend that you speak with your legal counsel on making sure that the wording is appropriate in your contract for something that is digitally accepted. Now, in this template, think of this, I know we use the term terms and conditions, but think of this really as your booking form plus your terms and conditions together being your contract. So you really want to lay out the information on the top part that you have in your booking form, utilizing the tokens, so those mail merge fields of, the creation date, the couple, partner 1, partner 2, or the customer's company, their contact information, and then the booking, the date of the event, ceremony time if you have it. All these have tokens. And then what's included in the package or in the contract, depending on the wording you use. So you can say how many adults are included, the cost of additional adults, how many evening guests are included, cost of additional guests. So you can utilize these tokens to really lay out, hey, this is what you're getting. This is what it's going to cost to add additional people. And you can also utilize the tokens for things such as, and I'll show you here, there's lots of tokens under this type. You can say the venue hire if you want to show that cost separate. You can also show the breakout of services. These are default transaction categories. So if you want to say, hey, it's venue hire is this, alcohol is this, food is that, your total is then, you can do that. Not everyone breaks these out on the package. That's up to you. They're available if you want to. And then the base package price, so the event basic price, that is the amount that the installment plan is based on. Okay, so that is the amount that they're contracting in. Of course, we want them to go higher, but that's what they're contracted in. That's what their payment plan is based on. So you have all of these tokens you can utilize. And you can utilize estimated guests too. So you could say that this price is based on 80 guests, but you have the estimated cost of X if you have 10 more guests, and you can put those numbers in as well in the tokens. So you're going to lay out what it is. You can also have things like what the package includes. So if this is like the gold package terms and conditions, you can have it lay out that it's 2 nights of accommodation, 13 rooms, and includes the gold food menu, the gold drink menu, upgrades available throughout the planning process, basics like that. It doesn't pull those through automatically, as we don't have the concept of package isn't something that's pulled through in Sunnis currently. But then you'll have your terms and conditions. And we don't put any of that in our example because that's your legal writing. But this is a great place for you to pull through portal expectations. So when you, in your contract, say guest list is, or final guest numbers due 10 days before the event, you could say via the guest list in the portal. Or your suppliers must be submitted in the service supplier section of your portal 2 weeks before the event for approval. We reserve the right to deny entry to any unapproved suppliers. So when they have fire dancers show up the day of in your historic manor house, you can say, no, this was not pre-approved, not to mention a fire hazard. So you kind of protecting yourself with the wording in this document and tying it into expectations in the portal. Now, we're not going to pull through the exact payment plan, but you can say something like, the booking fee due the day of booking, installment 1, 12 months before the event, installment 2, 6 months before the event, installment 3, 3 months before the event, all final charges. And you can say additional guests, food upgrades, drink upgrades, added on services, all due 14 days before the event or whatever you have it set as in Sunnis. So have all that covered in this. At least this is my 2 cents. I'm not a lawyer, so these are just things that I'm seeing our customers doing. But really setting that expectation of use of the portal, that, when you're submitting your guest numbers, use the portal. Don't drop me an email. So you can just lay all that out clearly. Now, the contract, when you do have it set up, you can say who has to sign it. So you can require both partners or multiple customers to sign the contract. So it's not just signing on behalf of anybody. So they'll sign it on their own. And you can add new contracts as well. And so definitely check out the video on how to do that. But have your basic booking form information plus terms and conditions in one for your terms and conditions, and name it really clearly. So if this is wedding silver, wedding gold, corporate, whatever the case may be. So you have all those preloaded and ready to go, approved by your legal team.